Hello guys, welcome to my channel, and in this video we are going to talk about the subject called as mechanical technology, and in that we are going to talk about metal forming. So here most important MCQs for RTO examination we are going to talk about. Now let's get started. Now the first question is which one of the following manufacturing process requires the provision of flash cutter? Now these are the options: closed die forging, centrifugal casting, investment casting, impact extrusion. So the correct answer is closed die forging. Now we are going to see the explanation here. So in closed die forging we use this this is the closed die forging diagram. We use this flash cutter basically to flash out excess metal from the die. So in this way the flash cutter is used in closed die forging. Now as you can see here, this is open die forging method, in which continuous hammering is taking place. And this is closed die forging method. So in closed die forging basically there is no hammering takes place, and the die is gradually closes and gradually the force is applied. This is how the closed die forging operates. So here you can see in open die forging the metal is compressed by repeated blows of a mechanical hammer and the shape is manipulated manually. But in closed die forging the desired configuration is obtained by squeezing the workpiece between the two shaped closed dies, as you can see here in these two diagrams. Now we will further discuss some of the things like draft, flash and gutter in this open and closed die forging operation. So what is draft? So draft is provided on the sides for withdrawal of the forging. Basically adequate draft should be provided at least 3 for aluminum and 5 to 7 for steel. Internal surface require more draft than external surfaces. So and the second is flash. As we have discussed earlier, the excess metal added to the stock to ensure complete filling of a die cavity in the finishing impression is called the flash. Here you can see the diagram of the flash. Now the third is gutter. In addition to the flash, provision should be made in the die for additional space so that any excess metal can flow and help in the complete closing of the die. So this is called as gutter. This is how it looks like. Now the next question number 2: hot working of a metal is carried out. Now here the correct answer is hot working is basically carried out above the recrystallization temperature. The correct answer is A. Now this is the hot working process, in which the metal is rolled from these two rollers. The metal is rolled, and this the metal is heated also, and that's why the process is known as hot working process. And in hot working process we heat the metal above the recrystallization temperature. The hot working of metal has following advantages. First, the porosity of metal largely eliminated, the grain structure of the metal is refined, the mechanical properties such as toughness, ductility improved, the deformation of the metal is easy. So these are the advantages of hot working process. Now the cold working. Here we can see in cold working there is no prior heating of the metal, right? No prior heating of the metal takes place. That's why these grains are only stretched. right? These grains are only stretched grains. So this is the major difference between these two, hot working and cold working. So now in cold working, metal is shaped by the application of pressure at a temperature below recrystallization temperature. Remember, in hot working above recrystallization temperature, in cold working below recrystallization temperature. So in cold working is done to achieve closer dimension and accuracies and to improve mechanical properties, right? So for closer dimension, mechanical accuracy, this is used. It is often done after hot working to obtain better dimensional control, right? So this process are done simultaneously also. Now the next question, the forging of a steel specimen is normally done at the temperature of. Now the correct answer here is B, that is 1100 degrees Celsius. The forging of the steel specimen is normally done at the temperature of 1100 degrees Celsius. The correct answer is B. So guys, this question is asked in SSC JEE 2012 and it is also one of the very important question that can be asked in this RTO examinations. Now as you can see here, this is a steel rod. Basically this rod has been heated up to 1100 degrees Celsius, 1100 degrees Celsius, which is the above the recrystallization temperature, above the recrystallization temperature. Now this steel specimen is ready to be forged. Now you can see these are the forging hammers. So the pressure is applied and the desired shape is obtained, right? Desired shape is obtained. Now the next question, in order to get the uniform thickness of a plate by rolling process, one provides. Now you know the rolling process where we have two rollers. Basically we have two rollers and the component is, the workpiece is rolled through these two rollers, right? And we get a desired shape. So to get the uniform thickness, this camber on the rolls are provided. The correct answer is A. As you can see here, this is the rolling operation and here we got a desired shape by these two rollers, right? But sometimes as we want perfectly flat desired output, but we don't get a perfectly flat desired output from these rollers. Why? We get this elongated, sometimes more elongated along the edges, sometimes we get more elongated in the center. So we use particular camber on the roll. We use camber on the roll. Basically camber is like this. This is a camber, this is the camber, right? This curved die, and after application the required workpiece we get is flat, right? It is not elongated on the edges, it is completely flat, perfectly flat workpiece as we get here. So this is because of the camber on the rolls. The correct answer is A here. Now the next question, ties for wire drawing are made up of. The correct answer is here carbide. Now as you can see here, why not wrought iron, why not cast iron, why not cast steel, right? So the correct answer is carbides. Ties for wire drawing are made up of carbides. Now you can see, this is the die which is used, and by this die we can see here we have obtained a wire which is drawn, and now here you can see materials for wire drawing dies. Now alloy steel is suitable for medium die life. alloy steel die is suitable for medium die life, and it has a good abrasion resistance. Now tungsten carbide die, we use sometimes tungsten carbide die, and this is the carbide die we are talking about here. Tungsten carbide die, it has a life of 2 to 3 times that of the alloy steel, and it is used for medium sized wires and large production and excellent abrasion resistance. So you can see here the correct answer why it is carbide. Dies for wire drawings are made of carbides, right? So because it offers large production, excellent abrasion resistance, and its life is 2 to 3 times that of alloy steel. That's why this carbide die is used here, right? And for very fine wires we use diamond as a die, right? Diamond as a die. Now the next question, blanking and piercing operation can be performed simultaneously in. Now the correct answer for this question is compound die. Now you have to understand what is blanking and piercing operation. So here you can see this is the blanking operation. This is the blanking operation in which this part is a scrap part, right? And this part is a useful part, right? This is blanking operation. So why it is called as blanking? This blank part is useful part, and in piercing basically this total part is pierced, right? So this part is useful, that's why this is called piercing operation. Now here you can see the explanation. With a compound die, several operations on the same strips may be performed in one stroke at one station. Example, blanking and piercing operation can be performed simultaneously. Here you can see, right, this is a compound die. Here you can see a blanking punch as well as piercing punch. That's why blanking and piercing operation can be performed simultaneously in compound die, right? So we move on to the next question. So this is very important question actually, asked in SSC JEE 2013 examination. Now the 7th question, a moving mandrel is used in, so it is used in tube drawing operation. Moving mandrel is used in tube drawing, right? Here you can see here, this is a tube drawing operation, right? This is mandrel, and this tube is basically moving from this side to that side, making this hollow kind of a tube. It is used for tube production. Now here you can see how this mandrel is used to obtain a tube, right? This is the tube that we obtain from this tube drawing with mandrel. So the correct answer is tube drawing. A moving mandrel is used in tube drawing operation. Now the next question, a process which is used for relieving the internal stress previously set up in the metal for increasing the machinability of the steel is. The correct answer is processed annealing. Here you have to understand this, that for relieving internal stress, full annealing is not used for relieving internal stresses, not normalizing, not spheroidizing. It is used, process annealing is used for relieving internal stresses in the metal for increasing the machinability of the steel. So this is also very important question, guys. Very good chances of this question to be asked in RTO examination, and it came in SSC JEE 2015. So this RTO examination has tendency to ask repeated question which came in other examination. So now here we can see the explanation. So first we'll see that what is annealing. So annealing is a process that softens a metal. So basically it softens a metal, annealing process. There are several different annealing process. We will use the full annealing process for the steel, right? For steel product, heat above the critical temperature, allow to cool slowly, use a dry cooling material or a furnace. Now this process reduces internal residual stresses in steel softening, right? Now here you can see when we anneal the steel, it becomes flexible. It becomes flexible. But when the steel is hardened, it doesn't move, right? So this is the example of hardened steel. This is the example of annealed steel. We get various properties out of the annealed steel. And that's why annealed steel is important. So here you can see full annealing is the process of heating a steel to about 50 to 75 degrees Celsius above the upper critical temperature for hypoeutectic steel and above the lower critical temperature for hypoeutectoid steel in order to reduce the hardness and increase the ductility. So this full annealing process is used to reduce the hardness and increase the ductility, right? But the process annealing is used to remove the internal stresses and increase the machinability of the steel, right? So in this full process annealing process, there is no grain growth. That's why only process annealing is used. So here you have arrived at this answer, that process annealing is used for internal removal of internal stresses. Now the next question, question number 9. Coining is the operation of. So basically the formation of coin, right? Coining is the operation of cold extrusion, right? Here you can see this is the coining process. We have this upper die, we have this lower die, and in this middle part we have a workpiece material. Now as you can see in final finished operation, this is the shape of the coin that we have obtained, right? So for this process, for coining process, cold extrusion method is used. This is how cold extrusion is taking place. So in cold extrusion we never preheat the workpiece material, right? That's why it is a cold extrusion process. So this is the correct answer is cold extrusion, not hot forging, because we don't heat in coining process. There is no piercing, no material removal, right? And cold forging is also not correct option. The correct option is cold extrusion. Now the next question, thread rolling is somewhat like. Now we have seen in workshop technology as well that threading operation can be performed on lathe machines, right? So what is this threading operation and how we can relate this operation to the other operation? Is it cold extrusion? No, it's not cold extrusion, because it is a rolling operation. The question already says that it is a thread rolling. So anyways the by eliminating we get this rolling, right? Cold rolling. So the correct answer is C, not cold machining, not forging. The question is clearly asking about rolling. So the correct answer is cold rolling. Now here you can see, so by using the cold rolling, threads can be produced. This is a thread, right? This is how the cold rolling process takes place, right? You can see here the grain size, the grains get flattened after this cold rolling process. There is no heating. Now the next question, the fatigue strength of the metal is improved by setting up compressive stresses in the structure by the process known as. The correct answer here is short pinning. So here is the explanation. Now in short pinning, what happens is, for plastic deformation we use these small size particles, and we force this small size particle on a particular workpiece, so that we get this kind of a compression compression in the workpiece, and thus the plastic deformation of this workpiece takes place. This is shot pinning process. So shot pinning process is a cold working process used to produce a compressive residual stress on the metal surface and modify the mechanical properties of metal composites. This process involves impacting a surface with a round metallic glass of or ceramic particle with force sufficient to create plastic deformation, right? So this shot pinning process is used for plastic deformation using compression, compressive residual stress. That is very important. That's why the fatigue strength of metal is improved by setting up compressive stresses in the surface, process known as shot pinning. So in shot pinning, fatigue strength, we improve this fatigue strength. Now the next question. So as you can see, I'm going to explain these other options as well. What is this process called lancing, hemming and slugging? So the process of lancing is basically this. So we are creating a partial cut in a sheet, right? As you can see here, we are creating a partial cut in a sheet so that no material is, sorry guys, so that no material is removed. The material is left attached to the bent and form a shape such as lap, vent or, so here you can see guys, the material is not removed, but it is still attached to a plate, right? This is a lancing operation. It is used for a tab, vent or lower. Now as you can see here, there is the second option was a hemming operation. What is a hemming operation? Hemming operation, it is a process also called as flattening. The edges of the sheet folded over itself, right? As you can see here, this is the sheet, its edge is folded over here, right, in the same direction as that of sheet. So that is a flattening operation and it is known as a hemming. Advantage of the hemming is hemming increases the stiffness of the part, right? It improves the appearance and eliminates the sharp edges. This is the best advantage of the hemming process. It eliminates the sharp edges, right? Now the next process, which is slugging process. The next option was slugging. So slugging is basically, it is used to make, tablets. In pharmaceutical industry, it is used to make tablets. So the powder is forced into the dies of a large capacity tablet press and is compacted by means of a flat and phased punches. The compacted mass called slugs and the process is called as slugging. The resulting slugs are milled to yield a tablet granulation, right? So tablets are formed at the end of this process known as slugging, right? So next question guys, 12th. Swagging is an operation of, now the swagging is an operation of forging. It is an operation. So in swagging process, the diameter of the rod or a tube is reduced by forcing it into a confined die by providing radial blows. That's why it is a forging operation. So here you can see what swagging looks like. So this is a a die basically, and the workpiece is pushed into this die to get a desired tube like shape. Now these die roll over this workpiece to impact a compressive force towards the workpiece, right, towards the workpiece, and thus workpiece gets desired shape, right. So this operation is known as swagging. As you can see here, it is used to reduce diameter of a tube or a solid rod stock. Vandals sometimes required to control the shape and the size of internal diameter of the tubular parts. So here you can see swagging process is to reduce solid rod stock. The dies rotate as they hammer the work. So these dies rotate, right, as they hammer the work to control the diameter. That is swagging operation. and it is a forging operation. Remember guys, this is very important question. It is a forging operation. Now question number 13. Generally the strongest form in which metal can be used. So the strongest form in which metal can be used is forging. When we obtain a metal by forging, it is the strongest form, right, as compared to hot rolling, as compared to extrusion, as compared to cold rolling. So we have a perfect material by forging, which has good ductility, as well as good malleability, right? That's why strongest form of a metal is obtained by forging. Now question number 14. Blank can be easily drawn into wire. Guys, this is very easy question. Copper can be easily drawn into wire. We have not seen cast iron. Cast iron is basically used in railways. Railway bogies are made up of cast iron. Cast iron does not have any ductility, cannot be drawn into, cast iron is brittle, so this is eliminated. Tin we use it as a sheet, so this is not an option. Zinc is not an option again. But the copper, we in domestic use for electricity, copper wires are used. That's why copper can be easily drawn into wires. That's why they are used domestically. Now question number 14. So copper has a high ductility, that's why they are used. Question number 15. Large size bolt heads are made by. So the large size bolt made by upset forging. So basically forging operation only. Bolts are manufactured by forging operation only, but in forging we use upset forging. Swagging we have previously seen. Swagging is basically, to reduce the diameter, by rotating die. Rotating die is a swagging operation, right? So this is not swagging is not for the making of the bolt, but casting is not also an option, and hammering is not an option. So the correct answer is upset forging. Here you can see here in upset forging, this is the upset forging. In upset forging, basically this kind of a bolt head we get in upset forging. Okay, the next question. Which of the following is not a gear finishing process? So guys, here we can see that these options are very confusing, but remember, you have to remember this, because because this question is asked in SSC JEE examination, and it has a most probability it will be asked in RTO examination as it is. Now the correct answer, it's not a gear finishing, is gear hobbing process, because hobbing is basically gear generation process, right? Gear are manufactured by hobbing process, but after manufacturing, the finishing process are gear shaving, gear grinding, and gear lapping. These are all finishing processes, right? But this is gear generation process. As you can see here, this is a gear generation process, this is hobbing process, and these are gear finishing processes, right? This is grinding, this is gear grinding, right? Gear grinding, this is gear shaving, and this is gear lapping. So thank you guys for listening to me, and I hope that this metal forming questions will come from this part which I have discussed. Thank you guys for listening, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.